Art friends for an artist are the best kind of people you can meet, and also the worst. Because sometimes the people who understand your art the most are the same ones who try to control it. I've mentioned before that most of my friends are artists. I've even talked about one bad artist friend on my video You Want Me to Draw What? You should definitely go check that one out after this. But today's story isn't about that person. This story takes place much earlier in my life, all the way back in my secondary school years. This school helped me meet more artistic people, as my grade school was small and could only accommodate a limited number of artists in one small spot on the edge of a larger city. My secondary school connected almost 7 different grade schools, so there were a lot of new people to see, and I also got to meet a girl named Julia, not her real name. Julia got my attention almost immediately when we met the first time. She was just like me. She read manga, watched anime, played video games, and of course, she drew a lot. In the first week, I already saw her pull her sketchbook out and draw in the middle of the class. Same as me! Finding someone like that was actually pretty hard back then, as being an artistic kid was seen almost like a bad thing to be, so obviously she got my attention right away in the classroom. To my luck, she liked my sister a lot, so she became her friend really fast. My sister was more outgoing and she made friends way more easier than I did. But I kinda of inserted myself into her friend group by default, so anyone who was her friend was basically my friend too. So with an extra loophole, I became Julia's friend very easily. Julia and I connected over shared interest, but art was the main indicator. We talk about it constantly, and we even started to follow each other's DeviantArt pages. I was really active on DeviantArt back in the good days. It was the artist hub to be in. I was there constantly, searching for new artists every day. One of my favorite methods was to check other people's favorites to find new artists, and I did that on Julia's page also. I found a handful of new artists from her page, but I also noticed that we followed a lot of same artists. What a coincidence for 2 teenage girls who like the same things to follow the 10 most popular artists there were on DeviantArt. Well, it was not a harmful coincidence to Julia. Oh no, it sure was not. Because at some point, my sister told me that Julia had been getting frustrated with me for a few months now, claiming I was stalking her favorite page and copying everything she liked. Which is a weird thing to get mad about in the first place. And secondly, it's weird to point at, because that would have meant that she was checking my favorites over these months so often to notice we like the same pictures. But I'm not pointing fingers here, maybe she just noticed a pattern and didn't like it. I didn't talk about this comment to Julia, and neither did she ever talk to me about it, so I forget it naturally, as it didn't affect me at all. I didn't get bothered by her annoyance towards me. As I said earlier, Julia was really into gaming, just like me, and she introduced me to the Final Fantasy series. I never got into it myself, but I listened to her talk about the games and the lore all the time. But I remember one specific detail. There was a lion character in some game. I don't know more specifically what lion character I'm talking about, but there is a lion on those games. Apparently. I know and remember this because one of my favorite artists, someone I followed long before Julia, posted a drawing of that lion character. I thought it was an OC or just a random fantasy lion art, so I just favorited it and added to my animal folder, as I like to keep my favorites in somewhat order for fast searching. If I needed specific inspiration, I could just go to that folder that was meant for it. These folders were public on DeviantArt and anyone could go see them. The next day at school, after I added this lion art to my favorite, Julia commented on it. The lion art you added to your favorites, it's not animal art. It's fan art for Final Fantasy. What lion art? You need to be a bit more specific in here. I put like 30 new art in my favorites every day. The red one with hair and flames on its tail. It is in your animal folder. And it's fan art for Final Fantasy. And you have a games folder, so it belongs there. Excuse me? My sister just told me that you're frustrated about me for going to your favorites in your mind. And now you are pointing out a small detail like this from my favorites? That's for you to know. You have to go into my favorites, into my folders, and search for the specific art from that folder. So you need to go into a minimum of 2 folders in my favorites to notice it. And I'm the stalker in here. I didn't argue with her about the fact that she knew that the art was in the wrong folder. I just thanked her and moved the art to the right folder when I got home. But if you thought that was the end of the weirdness, oh no. It actually got a little worse in the end. The biggest issue Julia had with me was my art. Surprisingly, the most important thing that connected us was also one of the biggest issues she had with me. If you ask me, we were on the same level of skills. Sure, we drew different things, but overall we were on the same line. But Julia didn't see it like that. She saw herself as better. And that was why she thought her critique of my art was always valid. It didn't matter if the reason was more technical. Programs I would have needed or skills I didn't have back then to fix my art was its human anatomy. I didn't even draw humans back then, so I don't know why she was so bothered by it or why she kept pushing it to me. She didn't appreciate it if I did something more creative either, like giving an animal character non-species features. For example, paws to deer. She would comment about how I didn't follow animal anatomy correctly, even though it wasn't what I was trying to do in the first place. You think she told these things directly to my face, but you'd be wrong. Julia would never critique my art when we were in the same place. She would only critique it online and never talked about it in school. No matter how rude her comment was, no matter how much it debilitated me as an artist or as a person even, she always saw that her points were valid. I don't know what happened in the end, as her comments online stopped at one point. Maybe she got fed up with me, as I personally was not the best commenter online back in the day either. I do remember I was really bad at it. DeviantArt was the first place where I left comments, so it was a new thing for me. And my manners might not have been the best when I was a teen. But my friendship with Julia is still alive after all these years. We do talk time to time. Sometimes art friends push us down without realizing it. But I think what matters most is learning to set boundaries, even with people who share your passion. I didn't need to do it because Julia stopped herself, but if she would do it now, I would comment about it very quickly. Thank you all for watching this video. I know some of you might feel mixed emotions about the endgame of my friendship with Julia, but trust me, we are doing good. No need to drop her off my life. She is a nice person, and I enjoy talking to her when we do talk. Hope you all like this video, and I wish to see you all in the next one also.